it's not like some really enormous project that you need to do. It is literally, this is why it gets the name peer-to-peer. We want you to contact the people who love and care about you, probably love and care about the things that you love and care about. And they would be interested in supporting you in raising funds.
You're on a mission, and you just need more people to know about it. And whether you're brand new to marketing or a seasoned pro, we are all looking for answers to make marketing decisions with purpose. I'm Monica Pitts, a techie, crafty business owner, mom, and aerial dancer who solves communication challenges through technology. This podcast is all about digging in and going digital. I'll share my marketing know-how and business experience from almost 20 years of misadventures. I'll be your backup dancer, so you can stop doubting and get moving towards marketing with purpose. Hello, and welcome to Nonprofit Marketing with Purpose. My name is Monica Pitts, and I'm your host and the lucky lady who gets to interview our guest today. Now, before we jump into the interview, I have a favor to ask. Will you review this podcast wherever you're listening, whether it's on Spotify or Amazon Music or iTunes? See, our goal is to help more nonprofits just like you have less stressful and more successful marketing so that they can do more of their good work and make our world a better place. But I can't help them until I meet them. And so your review can actually help me change that. When you leave a review, it helps this podcast show up when people are looking for answers to the problems that the podcast is meant to help them solve. So if you are a Nonprofit Marketing with Purpose fan already and you haven't reviewed the podcast, or if this is your first time and you learn a thing or two, leave a review so we can connect with more awesome nonprofits just like you. Thank you so much in advance. Now let's get to business. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Marketing with Purpose. So we're still digging into this year-end giving campaigns. This is one of our last interviews about year-end giving, and it's about a topic that I have people ask about a lot. Some people ask about it because they don't even know what it is. And then some people ask about it because they want to do better at it. And that's peer-to-peer. And I'm so excited because, Stacy, you don't know this, but last year I emailed all the people that did peer-to-peer and not a single one would do an interview with me. None of them.
What?
I know. And I feel like
I can't believe that.
I feel like this is going to be so valuable to our nonprofits because they're not sure how to talk about hosting a peer-to-peer to people that they are approaching to support their organization. They're like, well, I don't really know how to talk about it or what to say. And I know that you're going to enlighten them and it's going to be amazing.
I hope so.
So last year, Stacy did a peer-to-peer for Como Gives, and Como Gives is our community's year-end, month-long online giving campaign, and it's powered by the Community Foundation of Central Missouri. And last year, we helped 142 local nonprofits earn over $1.6 million. Boom!
Woo-hoo!
So exciting!
It was really amazing.
I know that you guys exceeded your goal for sure last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just get down to business. So first, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the organization that you represented for your peer-to-peer, which it turns out you're actually like a staffer for, so it all makes sense. But yeah, go ahead, tell us.
Yeah, my name's Stacy Pottinger, and I'm the Director of Development and Communications for Ragtag Film Society. We have our two main projects that people of Columbia have probably heard about, True Falls Film Fest and the year-round art house cinema, Ragtag Cinema on Hit Street. And yeah, Como Gives has been really a fantastic thing for us to participate in every year.
And I'm hoping that this year we can do just as much, if not more, than last year. It's always a little scary coming off of a big year, figuring out how you're going to get everybody excited again. But I think we can do it. People are generous, right?
Yeah. Oh, this community is so generous. I can't even, it makes me tear up sometimes when I just talk about and think about the generosity of this community and how much they care about the arts specifically, which is, my passion, but taking care of each other, feeding each other, housing each other, so many things represented on the Como Gives, through the Como Gives portal. It's amazing. And I don't know, I'm pretty competitive, so I definitely getting really attached to making sure we're on the leaderboard and exceeding our goals and having a good time doing it.
I definitely, like, as the donations roll in, and I can see who gave them, I can see who's getting them, and I always get also the intake information about what you guys are doing with your donations, and it just makes me get all excited, and sometimes I cry a little bit or a lot. It just depends.
Exactly.
Some years are worse than others, and it's not necessarily just from stress. Sometimes it's not stress. Sometimes it's just the excitement that people are so generous and amazing in our community. Yeah. So tell me about your 2020 Como Gives peer-to-peer.
There is just some excitement in this office. I don't know what's happening. So I apologize for any loud cheering that is happening behind me. Say that again. I'm so sorry.
So tell me about your 2020 Como Gives peer-to-peer.
Yeah. My personal peer-to-peer was, if you donated $100, you could pick my hair color for the month. So I was hoping to get 12 people to donate $100. It didn't quite work out that way, but I made my goal of $1,200, filled in with a lot of smaller donations. I had a couple bigger donations, and then I had a handful. I think I had 6 people who gave $100 or more. So it worked out that everybody got 2 months of hair color. And one person got 3 months because I had surgery and forgot all about coloring my hair the month of June.
So how much money did you raise with this challenge?
Yeah, I think it was, I know I made my goal of 1,200. So it was, but I think it was just over 1,200, like maybe $1,205 or something.
I guess I could look it up. I'm on the website.
You could look it up, but trust me, it is right close to 1,200.
So I've been referring to peer-to-peer since we started this conversation. And I consider you a peer-to-peer volunteer because you took your personal time to run this campaign on behalf of your organization, not being as the organization as a whole presenting itself.
Right.
So tell me, why don't you help me explain to everybody what a peer-to-peer actually is? Because some people might not know. They're like, what is this thing they're talking about?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was either. I'm really new to the career of professional fundraiser. So I didn't, I'm like a lot of just regular folks out there learning all of this. So it is the opportunity for individuals to raise money on behalf of an organization that they care about and love. And it's not like some really enormous project that you need to do. It is literally, this is why it gets the name peer-to-peer. We, our organization would be asking if somebody was doing a peer-to-peer, we want you to contact the people who love and care about you, probably love and care about the things that you love and care about. And they would be interested in supporting you in raising funds for an organization that you personally care about enough to do, put yourself out there like this. And there's a variety of things you can do. One of my coworkers did it was about running. So she's a runner, and she agreed to run 1,000 miles, I think it was, if she raised $1,000. And so people contributed to her ability to run that 1,000 miles. And I'm sure she's already run her 1,000 miles for this year.
And I'm doing math in my head of how many weeks that would take me. At 10 miles a week, I would have to have 100 weeks.
2 years, a little over 2 years.
Yeah, That's a commitment.
Um, yeah, a lot of people I've seen do cookies. Actually, that's what got me into looking at peer-to-peer was somebody who worked for another agency in town who would deliver a plate of homemade holiday cookies to your house. And I was like, that sounds good to me. I don't want to bake a whole bunch of different holiday cookies, but I know
Mm-hmm.
people who do that. And
Mm-hmm.
I had that, she delivered that, and I do that every year. I purchase cookies through her peer to peer.
That's awesome.
And I don't know if we'll talk about this later, but it's on the tip of my tongue. So I want to make sure that I say it. I love participating in peer to peers. I love going to the Como Gives website and I say I'm going shopping on Como Gives. And
Yes.
I go through and I find interesting peer to peer campaigns, things that I'm interested in, things I might, want to I don't know. We had somebody who did a free screening. If people who donated, and they were in a drawing for a free screening.
Mm-hmm.
Different things like that. The cookies. I can't even honestly remember all the different things I bought for in this last year, but it was also then a great way for me to learn about other organizations. So I was giving money to an organization I hadn't given to before. And then I learned, and now I'm on the mailing list and they send me information, and now I'm really interested in what they're doing. And it all started because somebody was probably making something delicious that I wanted to get involved in.
Yeah, people made pies. Somebody had a vote on his haircut. Another
Oh yeah,
person.
Ian. I think it was Ian, right? It was
Yeah.
from PedNet.
Well, and there was
When
uh
I saw his hair
Molly
colored, I was
Miles
like,
did it a haircut one too. So apparently haircuts go well. Um,
I contemplated doing a save or shave, which I had done
mhm.
once before when my aunt had cancer, and I raised money. You could put money in the shave category or the save category, and whichever one raised the most money, I would do. I did get to save my hair that year.
That's, I mean, it's brave that you would put your hair on the line that way because
You know,
I don't
I'll
know.
do
I have no
anything.
idea what my head looks like underneath this hair. I mean, I know I don't have a ton of hair, but like it could be bumpy underneath there.
Yeah, it could be. I'm sure it's cute. I think you should do that this year.
I don't know. You know, I keep thinking to myself all these different ideas that I would like to do for a peer to peer, but the reality of it is I have a lot of work involved with Como Gives to start. And then it's the holiday season and I have two little kids and I'm like, girl, you are just going to overextend yourself. You should probably just focus on making sure that enough people are getting to this website that these nonprofits earn what they need to earn this year, So it is
I'm
hard.
glad you brought that up because honestly, the peer-to-peer does not take that much time.
Good.
Yeah, my fundraising for the organization definitely that takes time. That's my
Mhm.
full-time job, so that should take time. But the peer-to-peer part, I'm just talking to my friends and my peers and
Mhm.
even my dad. I got him to give $100 because I was going about it all wrong. He doesn't want me to color my hair. So I said, well, Dad, you can choose. Because I said, if you give $500, I'll shave it into a multicolored mohawk. But my stepmom said, you're going about this all wrong. That's not what he's interested in. So I said, well, give $100 and I won't color my hair. So he chose natural color,
And
which
did
I
you get
didn't.
natural color? Like, how did you
I
get
did
it
it.
back to
I
natural color?
Well, I did it in January. I had been letting my hair sort of go in December to have an open canvas or blank canvas, if you will. So I did it first to get it out of the way, and I did have to. I colored it. I colored it kind of a dirty blonde or brown color that is, I think, my normal hair color, close to it.
Oh, it's funny how like us humans that dye our hair all the time, people will ask me, they're like, so what is your hair color? And I'm like, I light brown, but I don't like it. And as soon as it gets
Yeah,
light brown, I'm like, I'm gonna stick more color in it and just see what happens. Like
yeah.
anything could happen. I try to put like this raspberry color in it, but it doesn't always work. It was brighter 2 weeks ago. Now it's
Always. Yep. So was mine. Mine's
back
gotten
to
a lot
well.
paler.
So what was really interesting is we did just complete our 2020 donor survey for Como Gives in June, and like 35% of the respondents didn't even know what peer-to-peer was.
Ah, you're
Yeah,
missing all the fun of Como Gives if you don't go shopping on the peer-to-peer page.
well, yes, and there are organizations that do, for example, Unchained Melodies literally ran like a gift shop out of
Yeah.
Como Gives last year. And they had like a whole system down. I got to interview them about how they managed it all. Cause I was like, how did you get all this distribution going and like delivering the gifts and intaking the orders? And, you know, because the peer-to-peer volunteers, they don't have access to everything that the organization does. And so they like unveiled it all in an interview. It was great. I was like,
Ooh, fun. I want to see that
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
was
were definitely following their peer-to-peer campaign was impressive.
it was. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that interview is already out. It was out at actually the beginning of the year. So you anybody can go listen to it. It's
All
there.
right.
And I think another thing for organizations who are feeling like, you know, maybe it's putting people out to asking to do a peer-to-peer. In our donor survey, 68% of the people who did a peer-to-peer last year said they would do it again. So that means that I mean, like, that's well over half. That's like almost 70% of people said that they would come back and do it again. So it must have been fun. Like, it must not have been that bad.
I don't think it's a huge time commitment, and I mean, I just really enjoy fundraising, and it makes me feel really good. And I definitely want to stress it is really not a huge time commitment, and it really is just asking the people that you know to help support an organization that you love, and you can be in small donations really make up, you know, a lot of what we're doing here.
So if you, when you asked people to do a peer-to-peer, um, how did you go about it? Or do you have any advice to give the organizations who might be feeling a little apprehensive about asking?
Yeah, I mean, I basically we had, I think we have 3 executive directors, and they all did it, and myself um, and another coworker or two did it, and we basically I just tell them what it is and help them come up with an idea. That was the hardest part, is they felt like they couldn't think of something really good. And
Mm-hmm.
so we just started having one-on-ones with, you know, people about what would, you know, what is something that they get excited about, and how could they turn that into a peer-to-peer. For example, one of my executive directors is just really interesting to talk to. I just love having conversations with her. And our theme for the fest was really was interesting, and the more I would talk to her about it, the more intrigued and interested I would get. And so I said, you know, I would pay to have a conversation with you. So that's what she did. And it was, I believe it was a drawing from everyone who contributed a certain amount of money, and somebody won a conversation to sit down and chat about the theme for True False last year.
That's
It's
fun.
really as simple as that. And then
Yeah.
she left the conversation feeling really good about, oh, people really enjoy talking with me. I said, yes, absolutely. And that's what you're really good at. And that would be a benefit to somebody to have this conversation. So yeah, we just sat down and talked with my friend our coworker who runs, and talked about, what is it you love to do? You love to exercise, you love to run. So how can we incorporate that into your peer-to-peer? And then the people that you're friends with are going to get on board because they know this is something that you love, and they love you, and they want to participate. And then there's strangers out there who might be intrigued as well. This is why I'm just nuts I just always call it shopping on Como Gives.
I'm like
We have
getting
our
ideas
budget for
now.
donating. Good.
I'm like, so maybe what I should do is just have people donate to pick the song that I freestyle to. Like, because I'm an aerialist. So they could pick a
Oh
song.
yeah.
I'll freestyle to your song and I'll send you a video. that I could do.
Yeah,
Like
there you
that would
go.
be fun, and it
See?
would be something I would be doing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's how mine came about. I had a hard time thinking about it, and I think the idea came, I don't remember now if it came from one of my coworkers or if it was my own idea. I said, this will be really fun. It's a great I don't have to think about what color to do my hair, which is
Mhm.
awesome. And people got really excited about it. So I'm
And
gonna color my hair anyway. I might as well turn it into a fundraiser.
I do think that the thing that a lot of people think is that you have to do the cookies or you have to do a craft or you have to do something like that. And whenever I am consulting with organizations, I'm always like, okay, well, what is your bandwidth? Can you actually do that? And would it make more sense for you to offer something else for your peer to peer? Be it like maybe you've got an amazing recipe for, I don't know, cinnamon rolls, and
Molasses
everybody
cookies.
wants it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or molasses cookies. And you're like, hey, I will give you the recipe to my molasses cookies if you give me $20. And then
Yeah.
that's easy. Like that exchange is easy. You just have to get their email addresses and send it to them. And that's not like baking the molasses cookies. But like if you had to,
Right.
like if you don't have a lot of time, it's okay. Like, but I love the way that you phrase that. You're helping people like connect the things that they love with the other thing that they love, which is your organization, and like
Right.
bring that forth into a campaign. See, you even helped me think of a campaign. You're good.
I think just,
You're
yeah,
good.
talking with board members is sometimes, that's maybe sometimes the trickier part is getting them to be excited and get involved.
Mm-hmm.
They already do so much for the organization, so I try not to be really pushy about it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great way to get, just their I always say, you love this organization, you must, or you wouldn't be on the board. So
Mm-hmm.
what else can you do to help this organization? And this is just talking about something that you love already, and raising money by
Yeah.
doing something that you also already love. So I
So
love talking to people about it. So yeah, if you need to send anybody my way to help them figure out what peer-to-peer to do, we'll help out. I'll sell peer-to-peer advice for $50 donation.
there you go. That's awesome. We do have like all kinds of examples of it in our year-end giving training. And so, because you guys have provided, honestly, the Como Gives peer-to-peer friends have provided so many ideas. So we like grouped them together and like talked about the different ways that you could do it. But I do have to tell you, Como Givesers out there that are participating this year, that there are no raffles. Don't
Yeah,
forget,
I know.
no
I
raffles.
keep I keep mentioning raffles, and I'm like, well, I
Yeah, that
shouldn't
was
mention.
last year. This year, like,
It's
it has,
okay. I think it's
yeah.
good to change it up every year. Otherwise, it's going to get stagnant. So we have to come up with new ways. But again, just think small. Think about it as really what it is to you, talking to your friends about the things you love.
So tell me a little bit about like how you formatted this, I don't know, promotion or marketing for your peer-to-peer. Like, did you send emails? Did you do social media? Did you just text people? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, I'm a really big Facebook user. I'm
Mm-hmm.
showing my age, so I feel like I'm the old person on staff now. But I have I use it a lot. So if you use it a lot, it's really easy to just throw your peer-to-peer information, in there. Facebook loves pictures of faces of
Mm-hmm.
people. So putting a picture out there of yourself, that's what I did. And it's as soon as you get and if somebody comments on your post, then you comment to their comment.
Mm-hmm.
Always make sure you're responding, because the more interactive it is, the more that Facebook algorithm is going to work to your advantage. So anytime anybody comments on anything that I've posted, then I go back and say, oh, thank you, and did you hear blah 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 blah, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Even if you just say thanks, go back in there and do that, because it's going to bump up your post to show up in more people's feeds and to show up more often, or show up for a longer time period. So I did that. And then, like I said, I talked to my dad. So I made a few phone calls and talked to I knew like if I was lucky, all I needed was 12 people to give $100.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I made sure that I communicated with the people that I knew would be able to give $100 and would be interested in supporting, my personal campaign, and would think it was fun to, give to and get to pick a hair color. And that's what I did. And then I promised they could get. I would take a picture the first of the month outside of Ragtag with my hair color, and publicly, thank them and tag them, and that's how I did it, and that seemed to work.
It's like the gift that keeps giving at that point. You're like, look at this. It's
Yeah.
still there.
What's funny is I had one other person who gave a large donation, and I forgot when I entered it. They had contacted me and given me their credit card and said, just enter it for me. And I was doing it, and I was so excited, I forgot to do it through my peer-to-peer.
Oh
I would
no.
have, demolished everybody else in the organization with my fundraising prowess, but I forgot.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's okay.
I did especially love your photo last year, because you put the troll doll next to your face, and it was like really intriguing. I definitely like noticed that picture as I was like scrolling through.
That's another really good thing. And as a photographer, I know the power of image, and
Mm-hmm.
images in your peer-to-peer campaign are really important. So especially if somebody's in there just like I do, going through and looking at photos and looking at what people are doing for peer-to-peers,
Mm-hmm.
and going through that way. So have something eye-catching and clear and representative of what you're doing. The troll picture always cracks me up, just because at one point I felt like I did look like that troll doll. Somebody sent it to me because I had so
Isn't
many
she
different
rainbow?
colors.
She's like a rainbow troll girl. I'm
She's
looking.
the artist, so
Oh, she's a
I
cutie.
can't remember her name, but yeah, she's the artist troll.
We
And
can
when I
ask
did
my
this
seven.
color, it was really bright and
Uh-huh.
taller than it usually is, and everybody at first said, "This, you look like a troll doll." That's what I'm going for.
So, after explaining what peer-to-peer was to our donor survey participants, 23% of them said they might be interested in doing a campaign. So that's exciting, because you've got like a quarter of the people that donated to you last year that didn't do peer-to-peers last year that are like, okay, maybe. So if somebody's on the fence, what would you say to them? How would
I
you
would
bring
just
them over to the dark
reiterate,
side?
yeah, that it really, one, it doesn't take that much time. Two, I really, really encourage people not to overthink it and not to get really worked up. People get really money is weird, and you feel weird about it. And another thing I really hate is the word schmooze. You're not schmoozing when you're asking people to donate to organizations that do so much in our community and are important and that you love. It's not a hard ask. It is not hard to ask people to support something that is important to you. And what I do is try and think about, why is this organization important to me? Why do I give my time to them? How do I convey that to other people? And then what you're doing, a lot, so many people need to disperse funds at the end of the year, and you're just helping them to know where to put their funds that it's going to do the most good for the community, and where they can feel good about giving a gift of money to. And when you think about it like that, I feel like it takes some of that, oh, I feel weird asking people for money, but really you're helping them. It feels really good to donate to an organization that you
Mm-hmm.
love. And I know this year my family was able to give more than we ever have before. And it just feels good. It feels
Mm-hmm.
like you're really doing something for your community. And honestly, it's not just those big big checks. It's so many $20 and $10 contributions that are important. So even thinking super small, like I want to get 10 people to give $10, that's a great start. That's $100 that organization didn't have before you did this. So man, if we had 10 people who are donors of ours say, yeah, I'll do a peer-to-peer and try to raise $100, everybody can get $10 from pretty much everybody they know. So if you only want to get $10 from 10 people, 10 people did that, that's $1,000 that I didn't have. So I encourage people not to get overwhelmed with 25,000. Don't think about $25,000. Think about $100. Think about $500, and just go with that. And don't do something crazy. I mean, unless crazy is what you do. So,
well, crazy
like
is a little bit
something else. Crazy is what I do. I would love to, raise enough money that I had to rappel off a building or go skydiving or something like that. That I don't think anybody will let me do that right now, but I'm too injury prone. So, but yeah, thinking about what's something I actually really want to do. If I raise this much money, I'll do it.
Yes, I like it. And I thought of a lot of ideas, like I said, already just having this conversation with you, and it's gotten my little wheels turning.
Yay.
And going, maybe I could actually, because I could tie it into something I'm already doing. It doesn't have to be something new or different, because I always make these different crafts. I cycle them in and out. And I'm like, oh, I could make these or make that. But I'm like, I don't have time to make this and that during the holidays. I barely have enough time to do my job and take care of my kids and run como gifts. So
maybe the craziest thing I did was somebody challenged me and said they would donate $1,000 if I would sing "Thank You for Being a Friend" on stage at our 20th birthday party drive-in last year. And there I was singing on stage. Terrifying, but we got that donation. I felt good about it. They felt good about it.
Well, and it kind of falls in the same category. We had 2 years ago, we sponsored karaoke at this association gathering. It was their conference, right? So we sponsored karaoke, and this guy was walking around with a hat, and he's like, such and so is going to have a baby and they need to buy a crib, and he can't sing worth a lick, but if we raise enough money for him to buy a crib, he'll sing whatever we want. And I'm like, I'm in. Here's my money. This seems like a good time. This dude gets a crib, and we get to hear him butcher some Michael Jackson song. I'm in. And so,
awesome.
But it's really not. I'm peer-to-peer is just not that far off from that. Really, it's closely tied. So yes. So before I let you go, I want you to tell people where they can go and learn more about Ragtag, and get more information about the organization that you represent.
Yeah, so we have 2 websites. You can learn about the cinema at ragtagcinema.org, and you can learn about True False at truefalse.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking me. I love talking about fundraising. So anytime go one-on-one with me, I am here for it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
So thank you so much for your time today. Once again, my name is Monica Pitts, and you're listening to Nonprofit Marketing with Purpose. Now, before I let you go, I just want to remind you about that little favor I asked you about in the beginning. Will you please review this podcast wherever you're listening? It will help us show up when people are looking for answers to the problems that this podcast will help them solve. So if you're a fan and you haven't reviewed the podcast, please leave me a review. That would be so awesome. I would love to hear your feedback. And if this was your first time, double welcome. And I hope you learned a thing or two. So leave a review so we can connect with even more awesome nonprofits just like you and help them on their journey to less stressful and more successful marketing. Thanks again for your time today. Now, until next time, go forth and market with purpose.